Oh, I am so not looking forward to this. Not talking to you. I want to talk to you, but I'm not looking forward to this little project. What do I have in my hands? Pre-mixed grout. It's already pre-mixed. I got two containers. I don't know which color it is first off. I got a little sponge applicator to put this on the counter too. And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use that yet either. I so do not want to do this project, let me tell you. I am not a tile guy per se. I'm not a grout person. But let me show you what I got coming up here. I know sometimes you got to do what you don't want to do. That's just how it goes. Isn't this little sink kind of cool? Now see, the counter is little rocks, but there's some areas of grout that's missing. Now most of the grout is fine. I've got to try to match up that grout there. Let's get you in here a little closer. It's got a nice little backsplash there. Yeah, you can do stuff like this. Small little river rocks. Kind of looks cute. But the initial thought was to re-grout in between all these rocks here. But lots of them, the grout isn't that deep, and I really don't want to start digging out all of the existing grout. And if you have an existing counter, you know, travertine or tiles or something like that, you want to re-grout, you really want to get one of those little things that kind of takes out some of the grout first, so that when you put the new grout on, you've got it deep enough in between your tiles so that's going to stick. In this case, all this is fine. If I go right over the top of that, chances are I'm not going to have enough thickness of the grout in here before it starts flaking out. So I'm looking at this and I think I'm just going to start, I'm just going to patch in around here. See how that's all messed up? It's missing. And granted, we got a little leak going on here too, but I'm not going to fix that. But when they wash their hands and you get ready to turn the water back off, you know, your hands are wet, you do this, and then you get water right down in here. And I want to fix that, okay? So, am I going to use this little applicator? Nah, I don't think so. It was only like $4 or $5 at the store. And the idea is it's a foam paddle, and you put the grout on, and then you want to wipe it all off, you know. And this would work good for that. But because I'm just doing that little patch over there, I get cheap sometimes. I don't know if I want to just do this for one or two goes over here. I mean, you know, let's face it, there's only so much of the grout I can do over there before I have to get a little putty knife and kind of wedge it in the nooks and crannies around all this. Like I said, I'm just not really up to this project. The owner, well, she wanted me to take care of this for her, so I told her I would humor her. But why am I showing you this? Just to kind of give you some thoughts and ideas about maybe redoing around your sink, or maybe putting a different type of sink in, or river rocks. If you don't have a backsplash or something, you could just put rocks on there like this. You know, it's not even finished around the edges, just up to the rocks, you know what I mean? And that's just how it's finished. Like that mirror too. If you've been watching my videos, you would have seen that I put that mirror up, and before I put that mirror up, I patched the wall back behind there and stuff. And I did some other things in this bathroom too, but enough of that. The project for today is to re-grout the missing areas on this counter. Now do you see why I'm having a hard time figuring out which grout it is? See, there's the color of the grout right there, that strip, and there's one right there. That's when it's dry. Now looking at this, it almost looks like it's that one there that's going to be as close as I can get, doesn't it? Initially I thought I thought maybe it was going to be this one. But just bringing it out here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with this one, DeLorean Gray. This one's natural gray. And sometimes even though you see the colors on the outside of the container, sometimes when it dries it's slightly off and that kind of stuff. But you know what? I'm thinking it's that one, because what I was going to do is when I went to the store, I was going to get this one and this one, open up the containers, put just a little bit on an area and let it dry, you know, put it right over in this area somewhere, let it dry a little bit and then see which color it is. But you know, after looking at this more closely, I think it's going to be that one. And like I say, patch is a patch is a patch. Do I know exactly what color this is? I mean, there's some darkness in here because it's been stained from before. There's different colors. When it gets wet, it also comes up with a different color. You'd be hard pressed to match something exact. You got a counter like this that's 5 years old, 10 years old, whatever. Okay? That's why initially I was thinking of just regrouting this whole little area. I can still do that maybe. We'll see. You can tell I'm really enthused about this project, can't you? You know what? I might, after all, use this foam paddle, especially if I do the entire area. So there's a tip for you. When you get to the job or when you get to the hardware store, think of the different possibilities that you have for your project and make a decision. Do you think you're going to use it or not? Hey, if you don't use it, you can always take it back. You can get some other little tools to take out some of the grout or whatever and get some other things while you're at the hardware store thinking about your project, and be ready. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do, I've just got a little crummy sponge here, and this area I'm just gonna kind of wipe it off a little. I'll have to dry it up. It looks a little dirty in there. That's kind of cool. There's a little shell right there. And if you ever want to do something like this to a countertop, let's say, live it up. Hey, you can put some shells in there, around there. This one even has a marble. See that marble there? It's actually kind of cool that they did that, but I would have put some more of those up in the backsplash. You know, give it some color. You could put whatever colors, favorite colors you have, whatever. Is there a right or wrong way to do stuff? If you've been watching some home channels, you know the guys there that always seem to have a budget and they're always doing something funky, you know? And you think that's never going to work. And then they get it all put together and you think, wow, that looks pretty cool. And they hardly spend any money at all. Okay? I'm not saying this is a channel like that. Maybe it should be one day. But right now, I'm just trying to help you decide whether or not this type of thing, putting tile, grout down, is something that you feel comfortable with when you're patching your tile. Oh, you know, it's something else. Here's something else to think about. See, when this is wet, doesn't that look way better? When it's wet, it gives that nice glossy look. I'm going to put some sealer on this when I get done. And spruce it up a little. And since I'm going to do that, I might just end up surprising her and doing this backsplash here too. We'll see. Well, I guess I made the logical decision for this to go ahead and regrout all the way around here. You know, I think, like I said, a patch is a patch is a patch. If I were to just do this, I don't know if it's going to blend in all the way. And these lines are, you know, they're not really deep, but I think if I skim over there and put a skin of grout on there, The key is to let it dry a little bit before I try to wipe it off, so I don't wipe all of it off. Maybe I don't get all the rocks visibly as much as they are now, because you fill that up a little bit more, it's gonna get less of the top surface. But that's okay anyways, because this is all rough anyways, you know what I mean? So if I fill up some of the grout, that might be a good thing. And I think it's going to be just enough to keep this grout from coming off. Now on grout, there's sanded grout and there's unsanded grout. Well, the existing grout here was sanded, so I got sanded grout for this. Unsanded would be for really super tiny small lines, you know, but for something as wide as the gap between all these rocks, they use sanded grout. Did you know that? So where to start on the project? I've already wiped all this down with my sponge, and I've got to look all the way around the bowl here, and I've noticed some funny things. When they put this grout down, they didn't even do a good job, you know, up next to the bowl very much. I see all kinds of areas that are missing. Around here, there's missing here, missing here, missing there. Looks like maybe a rock came out right there. So I'm going to kind of pack that in a little bit using my putty knife. And this is kind of a good way to get your grout. If you're doing a small little patch, this is already pre-mixed. It's already wet. And I just have to dig a little bit out there and kind of put it down. I don't have to mix it up. I don't need extra buckets or any of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to work around this first and pack it in before I work around the rest of it. The first issue is to try to get this top off of here, and sometimes they're tricky to do. Oh, here we go. Make sure this stuff is mixed up. I did not open this container at the store, but it looks good. I'm kind of amazed how they can get that mixed up and for it not to dry in the container, you know what I mean? That looks nice. There's my grout, my pre-sanded grout, and I'm just gonna take my putty knife. I'm gonna get all of it. I'm not gonna use all this. What am I gonna do with the rest of it? I guess I can leave it in the container. And even if I had to throw it away, or if I didn't want to store it, it only costs about $10 for this. This is 1 quart. They do have some smaller containers of this, and they have bags of grout you can buy for a little bit more than this, with about twice as much as this. But then you got to mix it all up. But it's easier to store it. So if you got a larger project than this, you might want to think about it. Oh, brother, does it sound like I'm excited about this? No. I hope it doesn't. I might be talking a little fast here. I don't know why. I just want to get this thing done and over with. You know? Well, I'm just going to work on this grout all the way around. And, you know, for that matter, I might as well put on my crummy gloves. Look at these gloves. These are my crummy rubber gloves. Now you can use surgeon gloves or anything, because what I could do, if I need to, I can take these gloves and kind of push it down in there with my finger all the way around, or a smaller screwdriver, let's say. Man, uh-oh. There we go. I wonder if I should use these. I got some other ones, but I don't want to get them all messed up. I'll try them. Okay, so I've got a small little screwdriver here I can use, and if I need one smaller than that, I can. Okay, be ready for your project.